Well, my first acquaintance with Sunset Park was when Alfredo and I were in the Puerto Rican Socialist Party. The Puerto Rican Socialist Party used to have a núcleo in Sunset Park. So the first times I ever came here was coming to that núcleo, which I think was like on 6th Avenue, not too far from here, probably in the 40s, high 40s on 6th Avenue maybe. They had a storefront. Here the party had a storefront.
By the time we were in the PSP, I had lived down here a while, so I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't know very much about Sunset Park. I would occasionally come in here. What I remember is just the Scandinavians. I don't remember very much about Puerto Ricans, but they were here because we had a party organization in Sunset Park. We view 8th Avenue as one limit right down to the water, the Narrows and the river, where all of that is. So Sunset Park is a residential area, and it is an industrial area. It's a commercial area. It's all of that. And any attempt, essentially the attempts to redefine and restructure it, basically what they're trying to do is to take away portions of the essence and the history of Sunset Park. Why you think you got all the immigrant people here? This is one of the most immigrant neighborhoods in the United States. You know, we used to go. We went down. I was telling Maritza, I went down with a couple of the boys, the gangster kids, and we were doing tried to identify from different countries, and we got to like 40-something countries of people here residing with stores and everything like that we knew, like 40-something. So why are those people coming here? They ain't coming here just to have a bedroom. It's all the jobs and stuff like that, all the factories, the hospital. That pulls in half the employment here. So people have to understand that Sunset Park draws basically in part because of the job advantages it gives to people, and that's why we're an immigrant community. Sunset Park has always been an immigrant community. That's what we are. It was a big population moved by Dominicans into the country in the 80s. That wasn't culturally disruptive because there's a lot of cultural similarities of Puerto Rican and Dominicans, but definitely, and the Dominicans took over a lot of the restaurant and grocery store stuff, a lot of it. That we were, Puerto Ricans were in charge of it up to then. So most of the Mexicans in this area are from Puebla. And that was an area, well, all of Mexico was impacted hugely by NAFTA. NAFTA is the big trigger for Mexican migration into this country. And so they all came up here. So that was one of the things that they, virtually took over the community in a lot of ways, along with the Chinese coming down from the 8th Avenue area. Next door, they just sold a house. Every house that they sell, Chinese developers are buying it out. So the thing about both those populations is, I don't believe there'd be a Sunset Park without the Mexican and Chinese populations. I do not believe there would be. Basically what they're doing is they're redefining the living spaces to make more apartments. It's the business people, right?
And then the realtors started to realize that they could start developing those odd-looking condos that they make over there by the cemetery. And that's when they started calling it Greenwood Heights. So it was a real estate invented term, as South Slope became a way to raise the prices for people who wanted to be in the slope but couldn't afford the slope. So, and that's a different demographic that starts coming in. And then there's the big, influx of the big developers in Industry City, and then there's the influx of the Chinese development money into that Chinatown. So it's like a many-pronged invasion. And during the Occupy Sunset Park period, there was some activism there. There was what I called political gentrification, because Sunset Park became like a very sexy political neighborhood. And there was a lot of conflict actually within Occupy Sunset Park between the people who had been activists in the neighborhood for a long time and the newer people.